Hi guys, you're back with me, 8vAlan. I've got a new game for you. This game is called Spintires, and it is currently in development with a company called Oovee. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, they've gone through various development stages. This is effectively the open beta test, or you could probably argue. Basically what the game is about, it's kind of a cross between a navigation, sandbox, trucking simulator jobby. It's everything. It's got just these two vehicles. This one is called the MAZ, M-A-Z, or you get the little Jeep thing called the UAZ. Basically Russian off-road vehicles. This one having a fifth wheel, so you conceivably put a Arctic trailer on there. It's got big old tyres, diff locks, all-wheel drive. I've seen previous versions of the game where you've got trailers, attachments for the back, tyres, all sorts of customization included. I assume this is game mechanics and physics testing in this version, because it runs a lot smoother than from what I've seen on YouTube. The graphics, they look fantastic. They're mostly my favourite part of this game. Excuse me. That and the destructible terrain, the way the terrain reacts to your commands is unbelievable. I've seen nothing like it other than a video that was viral a couple of years ago, where they were doing the soft body mechanics, soft body physics testing, where they had the truck and a couple of cars driving about a test sort of level, and just crashing into things, watching how things damaged and bent and reacted to its surroundings as it was interfering. Now this is a lot like that, whereas the suspension travel, the way the tyres react to the softer ground, the way the brakes react, two-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, the differences between when you go from good terrain to soft terrain. It's just brilliant. It's really good, really good. I'm really impressed, especially for such a low budget. I mean, they did have a £40,000 target on Kickstarter through donations, and they smashed it by getting £60,000 through with the donations, as far as I know, up till now. Which has enabled them to do a lot more than what they were expecting to. I mean, £60,000 in relation to game development is probably nothing, but for what these guys can do with that money, I'm expecting big things. I mean, if someone was to back them with big bucks, some of the things they could come out with could be revolutionary. But as it stands at the moment, this game is by far my favourite game, and it's just a demo. This thing, I can spend hours, I can waste hours on this game, just driving around, sometimes driving through the same patch of mud just to see if I could get through it any quicker, or if I can not get stuck. I mean, everything's destructible. All the trees can be knocked over if you hit them with enough speed. Some of them don't react to low speed, some do. The ground is affected by the tyres in a way which you'd imagine to be realistic and true to real situations. I mean, you can still see the difference in maybe destructible terrain and non-destructible terrain, but you're going to get that whatever game you're in. Now this is good. The water effects on this game are fantastic as well. It's just, the graphics in this game is unbelievable, especially when you realise that the frames per second I'm getting from this game is like no other game I play on. I mean, I've got a GTX 660 Ti, overclocks through EVGA Precision X, and on bog standard, on full graphics settings in this game, I'm getting V-synced 60 FPS. I don't get that in any other game. I get probably 40 frames per second in World of Tanks on ultra graphics. Euro Truck Simulator, I get maybe 50 at the most. But when I'm getting 50 frames per second in Euro Truck, I'm hitting 83 degrees on my GPU temperature. Whereas this V-sync vertical synchronization at 60 frames per second at 50 odd degrees, which is unreal, especially when you consider how good the graphics are. I'm so impressed. This is just, I can't believe how easy and how smooth this game runs. Absolutely brilliant. And the effects, the lighting effects, and then when you turn the lights off, there's the glow from the side lights. It's just, everything adds to it. As a package, it is fantastic to look at. And the horizon as well. The horizon looks good. Have a quick go in the UAZ, which is, when I first started playing this, it was a bit weird. I couldn't quite. I played with the MAZ first, and that was easy. You could go anywhere in that thing. This takes a bit more skill because of the skinny tyres. If you just leave the diff lock off and all-wheel drive off, it is rear-wheel driven, and it goes absolutely nowhere. You just sink in the hard stuff you expect to get over. But so I'm going to try and attempt to get through here. It doesn't like the soft. It does get through eventually, but it really doesn't like it. Many times I had to come up, switch out to the MAZ and come up behind it and give it a knock, and then quickly switch into this, just to get it to carry on through the mud. But anyway, I've been rabbiting for a while now. I'll let you have a watch of it, and I'll cut back in a bit. There's some more, there's an interesting bit. Just there you can see it, as I was driving along, it physically dragged me into the softer stuff, which is exactly what happens if you're on the edge of the hard stuff, between the soft and hard. The wheels will fall off of the hard terrain and get swallowed up into the softer stuff. I've got diff lock. I've just turned diff lock and an all-wheel drive on. Beforehand, you just couldn't move. So the differences are brilliant. It's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. I mean, the breakover angle here. Again, I switched it off. Went to take the hill. Couldn't get over, and now I'm digging a hole because I've turned my diff lock and my all-wheel drive on. So if I'd have tried carrying on, I'd have been stuck. But take a bit more speed, and it gets straight over with diff lock and all-wheel drive engaged. Absolutely brilliant. It's exactly how I did quite a bit of off-road driving when I was younger, and as far as I'm concerned, this is next to perfect. This is as good as I've ever seen in a game. Now I am definitely stuck here. I don't think I'm going to get out of this anytime soon. But yeah, this is part of the fun for me. I mean, when I was off-roading for real, this would be what I enjoyed, figuring out how to get myself out of this sticky situation. I mean, it takes a bit of nous. You got to try quite a bit, or recover yourself. Yeah, that's a quite a good option. If you get so stuck that you know you're not going to get out, then you can just switch, get it recovered to your start point, which I can imagine being quite challenging if you've just picked up a really difficult load, and you got to get it to a warehouse to either get the points or the money or whatever, and then you get that stuck, you have to recover to the start, in which case you lose your load and have to go at it again. So there's a fair amount of skill involved. And the sounds. I mean, the sounds in this game are absolutely brilliant. The whine of the turbo, the lower grumble that you get from the big diesel engines, and then the slightly higher pitch you get from the smaller diesel engines. It's just brilliant in this game. I can't believe how well they've done with this, and I can't believe they've not released it yet, because as far as I'm concerned, they've got the graphics and the physics and the mechanics down to a T. So it must just be content holding them up, and probably modelling on the real life trucks. But yeah, I cannot wait until this gets released. It is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'd easily pay £30 for this game. dark, the soft lighting really comes into its own. It just looks absolutely fantastic. It's just they've got the lighting, they've done the lighting really well in this game. It looks really, really good. The only problem with it is the time seems to go a bit too quickly. Whether they change that in final edit, I don't know. But it's just a tiny bit too quick for my liking. More Euro Truck Simulator speed would be better, I think, for me. So yeah, there's only a couple of things I don't like about this game. One is the steering controls. The steering is it doesn't recenter after you've turned either left or right. I can see why they did it, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel natural enough. I know it's a completely unique game, but it doesn't really feel natural enough to be picked up easily. I mean, you do pick it up as you do with all games, but eventually it took me a good half an hour to get used to it. I started off with the steering wheel I've got, and that was useless. I couldn't use that. I just kept on serpentine all over the shop. Yeah, so the keyboard is king. The other thing being the camera controls. The camera controls are real difficult to pick up straight away. So you do pick it up. Same again, took me about half an hour to pick it up. So keyboard and learn the camera skills. Right, that's the end of this video. I shall catch you on the next ones, chaps. So see you later. Have a good one.